She cheated on me. I forgave her more times than I can count. But now I'm done. I'm a guy in my mid-20s, and a few years back, I packed my bags and moved to Canada as an international student. Like most immigrants, I came here with a head full of dreams, a gut full of determination, and a pretty straightforward mindset. Build a better future. I worked my ass off, hit the books hard, stayed out of trouble, and just tried to do things right. You know, the whole 9 yards, no shortcuts, just grinding it out to make something of myself in a new country. Somewhere along the way, I met someone. She was visiting from the US. We matched, and honestly, we clicked instantly. It was one of those rare connections where the conversation just flowed. No awkward silences, just pure, easy communication. For the first year, everything felt like a damn dream. I really believed she was my forever person. I mean, we talked about everything, shared our pasts, our hopes, our fears. We laughed. We argued. We made up. It felt real, like something I could finally settle into after years of just focusing on school and work. I thought I'd found the one, the person who understood me, the one I could build that future with. We got engaged, and I honestly thought my life was finally falling into place. It was fast. Yeah, a year in and we were engaged, but it felt right at the time. I was so caught up in the idea of it, the dream of a stable life, a partner, a future. But literally, the day after the engagement, everything changed. Not slowly, not a gradual slide. It was like someone flipped a switch. 1 minute, she was the girl I was going to marry. The next, she was a stranger. Suddenly, there were lies. Red flags started popping up everywhere, waving in my face like warning signals I'd somehow been blind to. Weird stories that didn't add up. She'd delete messages right in front of me, give me different explanations for the same events. And then, when I'd try to call her out on it, she'd turn into a damn emotional terrorist. She'd emotionally guilt trip me, make me feel like I was the crazy one for even asking questions. And then, the worst part, she'd even threaten to hurt herself when I tried to leave. That shit messes with your head. Men are saying, you're trying to be a decent human. You don't want anyone to hurt themselves. And she knew exactly how to use that against me. It was a vicious cycle. I'd try to break free. She'd pull the self-harm card, and I'd be reeled back in, feeling like a responsible asshole for even thinking about walking away. I started digging, not because I wanted to find dirt, but because my gut was screaming. And what I found, it was a punch to the gut every single time. I found out she was taking STD tests every 2 months. She claimed she was a virgin, for Christ's sake, and here she was getting tested like she was on a goddamn rotation. That alone should have been enough. I wasn't exactly getting any action myself, so who the hell was she testing for? The pieces weren't just not adding up. They were actively contradicting everything she'd told me. Then I started seeing Ubers being taken away at 5 a.m. from areas where none of her family lived. Who the hell is taking an Uber across town at 5 a.m. and not telling their fiancé? She'd hide numbers under fake names in her phone. And the kicker, she created fake emails from immigration lawyers to convince me she'd filed for my green card. That one stung the most, because it showed me how calculated she was, how deeply she was playing me. I was working my ass off to build a life, and she was playing games with my future. Whenever I confronted her about any of it, she turned everything around on me. Every single time, it was always my fault. She'd say I was insecure, toxic, paranoid. She'd accuse me of not trusting her, of trying to control her. In other words, I was standing up for myself, pointing out her blatant lies. And I was the bad guy. She'd make me feel like I was crazy for having eyes and a brain. The proof was right there, staring me in the face. But according to her, I was just making it all up because of my issues. It was gaslighting on a whole new level. She was a master at it, weaving these elaborate stories, playing the victim, and making me doubt my own sanity. But the more I dug, the more the truth came out. She was hiding a lot, more than I could have ever imagined. I think deep down, she never really stopped seeing other people. She just got better at covering her tracks. Once a cheater, always a cheater, right? That's what they say. And I was seeing it play out in front of my eyes. I stayed. Yeah, I know. Stupid, right? I stayed because I loved her. Or at least, I thought I did. Maybe I was in love with the idea of her, the dream of what we could have been. And maybe I also stayed out of fear. Fear that leaving her would mean giving up on that US dream she promised me. I came here to build a future, and she dangled that carrot in front of me. I was so focused on getting my papers, getting that security, that I let myself be used. It was a gamble, a stupid one, and I knew it. But I was so desperate for that stability, that path to a better life, that I ignored everything else. But love isn't supposed to feel like this. Love isn't supposed to leave you confused, anxious, and constantly doubting your worth. It isn't supposed to be a daily battle, a constant interrogation. It's not supposed to be a source of unending stress and suspicion. I was constantly on edge, always wondering what the next lie would be, what new bullshit story she'd spin. My work suffered, my sleep was shot to hell. I was a wreck. My friends, the few I confided in, they saw it. They saw me shrinking, losing myself in this chaotic mess. They told me to get out, but I couldn't, or I wouldn't. I was trapped, caught between my fear of losing the dream and the slow, agonizing death of my self-respect. Even now, after all the bullshit, she's still coming to Canada next month, and she expects me to pick her and her mom up from the airport. The same mom who once told her to divorce me. What the hell? No, I'm not doing it. That's not my family anymore. They made their bed, and now they can lie in it. I've decided that I'm going to stay in this marriage for one reason only. To get my green card. There won't be any emotions left. No physical relationship. No playing happy couple. She made her choice. She chose to lie, to cheat, to manipulate. She chose to play games with my life, with my future. After I get my papers, I'll make mine. I'm going to move on with my life. At that time, I'll be the one walking away. Some people might say I'm wrong for this, that I'm just using her now. And maybe they're right, but I gave her everything, my time, my effort, my loyalty. I invested years into this, years that I can never get back. She played me for years and almost cost me my future. My whole reason for coming here in the first place. So no, I'm not going to feel guilty anymore. I'm done feeling guilty for her actions. I'm done feeling responsible for her emotional outbursts. I'm done. I just wanted to share this, not because I want sympathy or even advice, just because I know there's someone else out there who is also being gaslit and lied to. Maybe this will help them feel a little less alone. Sometimes hearing you're not crazy from a stranger can mean everything. I can tell you this much. The stress of this whole thing has been a nightmare. I stopped sleeping properly. My appetite went out the window, and I was tense all the damn time. My work performance took a hit, and I had to work twice as hard just to keep up appearances. My colleagues started asking if everything was all right, and I just mumbled something about stress from studies. It was a relief to get to work sometimes, a brief escape from the chaos at home. But even there, my mind would drift, replaying conversations, trying to figure out what was real and what was another one of her elaborate lies. I used to be a guy who trusted his gut, who believed in giving people the benefit of the doubt, but this whole experience has changed me. I've learned a lot about red flags, about manipulative behavior, about how quickly someone can turn into a completely different person once they think they've got you locked down. I used to think I could fix things, that if I just tried harder, if I was just more understanding, she would change. I was the analytical type, always trying to logic my way through emotional manipulation. I'd document patterns, try to find rational explanations for her irrational behavior. But you can't reason with someone who operates without logic, who thrives on chaos and control. I had friends who saw through her bullshit pretty early on. They told me, bro, something ain't right. Get out. I defended her, made excuses, told them they didn't understand. I even took her back after she'd disappear for days, claiming she needed space, which, looking back, was probably code for seeing someone else. I stayed because of the sunk cost fallacy, all the time and money I'd already invested. I didn't want to believe I'd wasted all that effort. I was so caught up in trying to make it work, trying to get her to be the person I thought she was, that I ignored the obvious. My male friends were a godsend, though they didn't sugarcoat anything. They listened to my rants, gave me direct, no bullshit advice. They reminded me of who I was before all this, the guy who had his shit together, who wasn't constantly walking on eggshells. They helped me see things from a clearer perspective, to separate her manipulation from my own feelings. It's funny, when you're in the thick of it, you feel like you're going crazy, like no one else could possibly understand. But talking to other guys who've been through similar shit, it's like a weight off your chest. You realize you're not alone, and you're not crazy. So, yeah, the plan is set. The practical logistics of this separation are going to be a nightmare. I know, housing, untangling finances, getting my belongings out of there without a scene, but it's a necessary nightmare. I'm not going to let her continue to drain my resources, my mental health, or my future. This is about self-preservation without apology. I'm prioritizing my well-being, and I'm doing it without an ounce of guilt. I'm learning to trust my gut again, to recognize when something feels off and to act decisively when my boundaries are violated. This isn't about revenge. It's about reclaiming my life. The natural consequences of her actions will play out for her. People like her, they can only keep up the act for so long. Eventually, her social circle will see through her manipulation tactics. Her professional reputation will take a hit. Her entitled attitude and poor decisions will catch up to her financially, and her relationship patterns will repeat with others, who hopefully will recognize her for what she is much faster than I did. She'll face isolation, burned bridges, and the loss of all the benefits she got from using me. And when her manipulation stops working, she'll have to face herself. And that's a consequence I wouldn't wish on anyone. I'm done being her personal meal ticket, her emotional punching bag, her convenient path to whatever she wanted. After this, my antennas will be way up. I've learned a valuable lesson, a hard one, but valuable nonetheless. I'll be adjusting my trust parameters for future relationships, building better screening processes, and definitely not rushing into anything. This isn't about being cynical, it's about being smart. It's about not letting someone else's bullshit derail your entire damn life.